Supposedly, we are starting the stream.
Oh,
Only 2 minutes late.
we're doing the do?
Oh, oh, what did I see today? It's you can't on Mountain Dew what's already been Mountain done. Is that what it was? Fucking
That's
awful.
terrible.
I hate that.
It's terrible.
Gave me a half an aneurysm reading it this morning.
Hey, sure we're live. I ain't seeing us.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
We're good.
I'm actually seeing people talking in chat. Hey guys, how's it going?
CJ Infinite, what's up? Glad you could join us. Paul's looking very lost and confused. It's kind of funny. Let's run with it for a while, see what happens.
Yeah, genuinely.
Here. Hey, get your shit together. CPO, good evening, sir. Good evening.
I'm up to speed. It's fine.
Okay.
Are you with us? Here.
50-50.
Yeah. That's higher than average, isn't it?
Allegedly.
You got me there.
Yeah, so if you are joining us after the live stream, skip ahead roughly about 15 minutes, maybe 13 minutes because we were late starting, but to get to the review of the QSP Hornbill and QSP Locust. Non-button locky stuff. You know.
But fancy. Sort of.
Because it doesn't have to have a button. It doesn't need a button.
No.
They're fun. They're fun. I'm okay with it.
Indeed. Absolutely.
So this isn't...
what?
Oh, what's up?
Nope, nothing. Go.
Okay, I was gonna say, this isn't actually what I'm carrying this week. Aw, Chrome, you suck. You suck so bad. This isn't what I'm carrying for the week, necessarily, although I did have it. Had a bit of a mishap with one of my knives today.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so whilst closing the knife of the, or closing the button on the slike, I had applied some sideways pressure and, a normal human grip, trying to, hold my knife gently. It twisted the pocket clip to the side and sheared the head of the screw clean off of the handle.
You Hulk.
Dude, I have the worst luck for stuff like this. So here's the weird thing. The screw actually sheared off above the bottom of the tooth bed for the Torx. So you can actually see through the circular portion where it's got the little Torx shape. It came clean off. So I already contacted Boker. Hopefully they'll get back to me and say, hey, we'll send you new screws, because that's stupid. But I've already also set aside some parts on McMaster. The next time I do an order for heat treat supplies, I'm going to get some tubing and some screws, and hopefully I can resize some stuff and fix it myself, because I've been loving this knife otherwise, but I'm actually a little offended.
You loved it too hard, Joe.
Yes.
A little too
handle your love.
I loved it a little too hard for a little too long, and broke something.
Well,
I gotta be honest. There was a point where I saw the tape, and I thought it was some weird like Teflon liner or something like that you had absolutely decimated. For just like a split second, I was like, what am I looking at?
This isn't a CRKT. It's okay.
Yeah.
Which actually is topical, because I may as well get into it. That's what I was carrying today.
Oh, there you go.
He didn't try to segue that, but it was all right. It was all right.
It worked.
He got there.
Yeah. Have these pictures posted elsewhere, so I'm just trying to get them here. Will this work? Yeah, that'll work. So this is what I was carrying today. My friction folder, along with the... And I don't think this actually has just the name. It's the 7333. Using the E-Lock, designed by Elisha Witz.
7333?
7333. I know that
it was just called the E-Lock.
Okay, yeah, because there is one that uses the E-Lock with the flipper tab. I want one, if anybody has one for the record, called the, is it the Starlight? Something like that. Also in the Elisha design.
Starlight Express?
Yeah. It's also very Art Deco with an E-Lock. I enjoy it.
I'm just gonna wash some balls here real quick. That carbon fiber in that friction folder looks real nice.
Thank you. Yeah.
Indeed.
I've seen nicer.
I've also seen nicer, sir.
No,
The,
it looks good, man. It's got
appreciate
good
it.
bling. Yeah.
The I will say though, fat carbon, they make some nice stuff. I might caution people to, if you're making your own things or be able to choose such things, go with the camo options because the color saturation is a lot more consistent from one piece of material to the next. Would you believe me if I said there was supposed to be a lot of red in that? Because
there's totally a lot of red in that.
There's
What are you
there's that
talking
one
about?
red speck.
single red, yeah, kind of schmutzy brown looking red speck right there. It's fine. It's fine.
That's my kind of red, Joe. Just leave it alone. That smutty brown. You just leave that alone.
Yeah, 100%.
That's not an accident.
No.
Oh yeah, it's just kind of schmutzy brown, eh?
Yeah. There's other parts on the knife where you can actually see a little bit more red, but
Did anyone actually ask the boys what they're carrying this evening, or are they just spouting stuff in the chat because we suck at our jobs?
I think they know what to do at this point, and they took the
yeah.
So CBM, RJ, Q36 SS, blue fat carbon, and Magna Cut.
Ooh.
Jesus, that's a lot of fancy words in that knife. They put a lot of fancy words to make that knife. Yeah. So,
I mean, I know a couple of them, but I don't know all of them.
And Dick Richards is carrying a crossbow. So,
very nice. I am excited for that new Crossbones look-alike from CRKT.
The Calby?
Calby, thank you.
Ivy? I don't know.
I think it's a Calby. I think it's a K-A-B-I.
Yeah. One of the few things that wasn't an exclusive.
I don't know what you're talking about. Not a game that I hate playing.
Shots fired.
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
I'm sure we'll get there eventually.
Paul, you got any surprises for us?
No, not really. I'm not even sure if I've used this photo before. But
I see what kind of weekend this is. For the record, it's kind of weekend. It was my bachelor party this weekend. I mean, how many barnyard animals were there? I don't know. There's a list. There was rules about playing with them as well and throwing knives at strippers. But anyway, so for this weekend, I don't know what you were carrying, but I'm the one that was supposed to be all lazy and repeating pictures use, not you.
You know, if I was thinking clearly last night, I would have taken a photo, there.
In a fancy golf course? Yeah. So,
that would have been clever, but I was not that clever.
But all weekend long, I made a running joke with Paul that I should be triple rocking Contigos because I'm thinking about maybe retiring one, and we were joking around, but as long as the fixed bladed version was off my back in reverse grip. So I was carrying the fixed bladed Contigo this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it off your back in reverse grip?
Yeah, hell yeah, it was. I didn't scout carry it because that's silly. It was still in a vertical draw, but it was coming out lefty with a righty sheath. So
yeah, it's still edge forward.
Yeah, good times. Good times.
Yeah.
Such a cool knife.
It's interesting for sure.
It's a shame they discoed them.
Yeah.
True
I've never thought to myself, you know what I need is like a fixed blade spay blade. That's what I need. But looking at this, it's like, that's pretty nice.
What about this like crew wear?
This and crew wear would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, you keep talking about things that are never going to happen. And then,
Magna Cut. Magna Cut. There you go.
There, yeah.
Don't make it a Magna Cut. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it was already a stainless. You may as well keep it stainless, right?
Yeah, no, true facts.
Can we turn it into a 7.5-inch blade and slightly thicker while we're at it? I mean, I'm just trying to make it Becker Crewman now. That's what I'm trying to do. That knife's terrible. Don't make that knife, by the way. It's
indeed. Absolutely.
So good times. Good times. I guess you're on the docket there. Reuser.
Reuser. I don't know. It might not be reused. I might have just edited it a while ago and not used it. But
It's probably still a knife you carry, so you can get by on a technicality, but
yeah, exactly. It's a Holt haptic.
Yeah.
In black and white because I'm artsy and shit.
It is in black and white, isn't it?
well, something clown vomited on your knife, something purple.
Hey, bro.
I don't know.
Clown vomit.
It's not all
Aw.
blingy. It's
No, it's a classy blue.
it's all right. With that blue sky behind you, it looked like that was like a Corvette blue, like kind of that sleeky.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Now you've disappeared. Yeah.
that's it.
Apparently, I could just like make myself go away.
Into the ether.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry.
Hurtful.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. No.
Do you think you'll ever get tired of the whole?
I mean, it's not happening right now. We'll see.
I mean, it's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth.
It is nice.
Yeah, but it's got good ergos. It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I just know that occasionally, even for myself, there's still times where you carry a knife like ad nauseum, and there's just this moment where it's like, that's enough for now. Put that away, and you grab something else instead. Doesn't happen super frequently, but yeah.
Well, and I don't carry this one in my pocket very often. It's kind of around if I happen to have it in my bag or something like that. But
Yeah, that's fair.
I will take it out in the woods and risk it all to get silly photos by a river.
Yeah, you will.
I mean, Dennis is standing right there waiting to throw the damn thing in. So it's
It's got the other end of it tied to a rock for some reason.
Yeah, it's weird.
Why do you think I bring out the microcord? And a tiny anchor.
Yeah,
It's
to keep the knife from floating away. Yeah. Excellent.
Nice. Ben, good evening.
Glad you can join us.
Indeed. Cheers.
I didn't see
I
that.
like the line symmetry.
Dick had asked if I had bought the jumbos. No, that was actually one that I initially passed on because I didn't like I didn't like how weak the D10 felt, and I should have picked one up because I still like the knife. I probably could mod it, but yeah.
I didn't realize that you didn't have one of those.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
I thought you had a jumbones too. I thought you were a sucker like that.
I am a sucker like that. The problem is now there's so many other things I gotta pay and pay off that
No
you look
time
at the
for crossbones.
oh god, well you look at the price for the jumbones these days. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
150 minimum. It's a bit steep. It's a cool knife again, but
Meh.
maybe if they re-release a limited version with XHP,
Is it-
I'll just drool about it.
Is it Oz 8?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I already have the standard in Oz 8. I have the M390 version with horrendous rock. Yeah.
Know that I asked this question and it comes from a place of love, but how many tie lights do you have?
All of them? No. So for the 6-inch, I only have the one. I have the newer version with the Zytel handles in Oz 8. Got the Chris tie light that you and I both have in Oz 10.
Yeah.
I also have the S35 in aluminum, and this is buried somewhere at my parents' place, but probably the Oz 8 is still kicking around to the standard 4-inch in Zytel.
I didn't happen to notice a titanium version in the little.
If
D10 XHP.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I'm still
Come
salty.
on,
I
you
just
say
missed out
all
on
of
those
it
ones.
like that's half of it.
Well, those are all the those are all the basic models. But yeah, if you want to get into the crazy shit, the tie stuff, man, every once in a while, one of those pops up for sale on secondary, and just the asking prices are always out to lunch. But they're super nice. They're super nice.
Because they had a gray TI as well as an anodized TI version.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
The ano
True stories.
Ooh.
The gray TI. Sorry, I'm blinging up color. I gotta bling up the gray shit.
They're both nice, but
I grade up my my Tylite, my aluminum one. It's
Yes.
all aluminum.
I took mine to a wire wheel for a pretty rough finish, and I like the overall aesthetic, but I really wish Cold Steel would go back to offering stuff that's like chromed aluminum, like the hard ano mirror polish stuff they used to do. Yep. All I have in that right now is a Paradox and 6-inch, which is just too much of a knife to carry around day to day. But
I tried to take the hard wire wheel to my Zytel one, but it didn't work out so good. So
I have
One with the
shards.
Let me tell you, the grip, the texture, it's not going anywhere now.
Christ.
It will cut you. It's
the handle, yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. Infinite. Joe,
all right.
Those are the worst. Well, can't all be wrong.
This is what happens when we start 3 minutes late. We have to go 3 minutes late into the preamble. We'll see.
We told you 13 minutes.
At this point.
That's okay.
All right. QSP, you say. Talk about some things and stuff and things and stuff.
Fangs and doodles. Fang doodles.
Well, it's better than the diddles.
Don't diddle the things. Just don't.
Get into the diddles.
Dad, don't. Definitely don't.
Hey, you got a better size comparison with the Dragonfly. Let's do that one first, because
Oh, you're gonna go irrelevant size comparison first. Sweet.
Right away.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Good times. Bam, son. Paul disappeared. I said bam, and you just floated off. That was good time. Yeah.
I was gonna say Paul knows what he's about.
Yeah.
Awesome. So last time on the Pokey Factor, we were talking about some button lock offerings. One of these may have been a button lock at some point in development. That Hornbill.
Don't worry about it. It's
okay.
the ghost. It's the ghost of a button lock.
It's the sun in the sun rays.
Had they actually leaned into that a little bit more, anyway. Yeah, but these are both liner locks. Not the Dragonfly. That's a back lock. You can tell. It's right there.
These are both liner locks. There's 3 knives. One of them. Yeah,
but,
we knew it. We know what you meant, but still funny. Still funny.
Absolutely.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have specs handy for these guys? I had them saved on my phone here, but
Yeah, I got some things. So which one are we looking at first? Let's go with the Locust, because that's the one that I just put up. So Locust is the knife on the bottom, just for the record. Brown burlap micarta for that particular one. QSP's been rocking ceramic ball bearings and almost everything. Nothing stainless steel nowadays. Blade length is 3.875. She's almost a 4-inch blade. Overall is 8.75. Weight 4.1 ounces, 154 cm on the steel, liner lock, 3.5 mils thick. Damn, son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty thin, pretty slicey.
Pretty thin.
3.5, dude.
3.5 mils
thick on the blade. Yeah, so like in comparison to like a 2 mil from a bug out or a manly 1.8 on a manly watt. 3.5, yeah.
It's not blow your hair back, but it's like better than I'd expected.
A freak's thinner than that shit.
Touche.
Really? The mini, maybe.
I don't know. I might be spouting bullshit. Now I gotta look at the bench page rate.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was 3.5. That's actually the surprising stat out of all of this, is that the Locust is 3.5 mils thick. I'm like, what? Really?
For the record,
I wouldn't have thought.
For the record, a Sabenza is 3 mil on the nose. At least the old 21s are. I'm sure the new ones are the same. But what's an Adamas these days? I know they thinned out the blade stock from the old ones, but it's still fairly thick. It's 4 mil.
Blade thick is 3 mil, 2.9 on a Super Freak. So yes, This is 3.5 in retrospect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
so thicker than a Freak. I don't know what an Adamas is. I just closed Benchmade's page.
And
What do you
everything
mean I'm
worked
gonna
out well.
resource some things for later? I don't need that for
Don't
later.
worry about it. Don't worry. But I will agree with Paul on one thing as far as like the slicey is concerned. It's almost full flat grind. It does. It's not exactly. What's the word I would use here? Like the CRKT Pillar 2, how thick that thing was behind the edge, even though it was reasonable stock thickness. Now this actually comes down to a pretty reasonable cutting edge. It's almost worth the trouble for me to take behind the edge measurements on the knives we review, but I mean there's going to be so much variation with that, I would imagine.
So a
Okay.
mini Adamas is the same thickness as this guy.
Okay.
So yeah,
So, yeah.
a little thick, a little thick. Cool.
So anyway, yeah. What else we got? I think I covered everything on that one.
I think so.
Overall blade. Oh, 50. Okay, so 59 to 61 Rockwell. And I'm quoting directly from QSP's website here. The blade bald HRC one less than satin blade.
Bald one less than satin?
Blade bald HRC one less than satin blade. You gotta say it as a question. It makes more sense that way, I think.
All right.
Bald with an E on the end. So it's blade bald or baldy if it was a mount.
Bald with an E.
I don't like anything about that. I
There's
hate
obviously some typos. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Translation errors. Can I just point out the obvious that I think this thing looks like a lion's toothpick as far as the handle goes?
The lion's tooth? Oh.
The fixed bladed? Yeah, kinda.
The straight spine and the dip in the handle where your thumb would go for a reverse grip.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Who did the lioness? Was that also Tops?
Yes. Now we're just looking at Tops knives.
Yeah, I mean a little bit, but actually the lioness is the one that I was initially thinking of from Tops that was like, that's kind of similar. And yeah, the lion's toothpick is kind of close too, yeah.
I bet you if you flip or delete the Locust and start looking at some fixed blades that are out there, you'll actually probably start to see a whole bunch that are like, oh, that's not that dissimilar from a snake.
Yeah.
This also has a the lion's toothpick also has the flipper hump, even though it's a fixed blade.
Yeah.
Well, you need the flipper hump.
It's to keep you from flipping when you're not supposed to be flapping.
I don't know which one of us Dick Richards is making fun of, but it's probably me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with me. It could be all of us. So thoughts, feelings, anyone? Joe, I'm gonna start off right off the hop here. Do you have a in-hand comparison of this sumbitch?
Yes. Got an in my open hand here and in my closed hand here. Yeah. So I wear a large glove, if that gives you a reference. My fingers are going to be stubbier, shorter than Dennis's. That's usually the guy who's holding these knives in these photos.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Got thick, weird little Italian hand. Strange.
And it might look to the camera that Paul just put up half his hand to the camera, but that is actually his whole hand. It's just weirdly small. See again.
I knew that joke was coming. As soon as I put my hand in frame, I was like, no.
Anyway, so I'm going to throw it out there right now. This is probably ergonomically one of the nicest knives I've handled all goddamn year. 2023. This thing has anything I've held. The Locust has crazy ergos. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this knife is nice in hand. I don't like it. I think it's kind of ugly looking aesthetically. That's another conversation. But ergos, good lord, this knife feels nice in the mitts.
Is anybody else confused by the fact that this knife is the most bird-like of all their knives, and it's not named after a bird?
Well, that's too easy. That's too easy, man. Come on.
Is it
You can't
the
just
most
give them away
bird-like?
like that.
Is it the most bird-like? Because looking at that handle, that looks like the back end of a Locust for sure.
Well, there's a
So,
stinger
I'm
thing
talking
going
blade.
on. Yeah.
Like just blade?
Yeah, that's full-on eye and beak.
I guess.
Some kind of buzzard.
Yeah, that's a crow. That's some sort of crow or whatever
Corbin,
type of
yeah.
very, very
Very Corvid-esque.
You know, the
Excellent.
old racist Disney crows. It's so.
Oh,
Don't-
jeez.
Don't worry about that.
Well, no, that's just what I'm comparing it to. It's, I didn't draw them.
Let's talk about this locusty handle.
Yeah, so locusty. It's brown, like a locust.
It's locusty.
It's extremely brown. Like, think about how brown you might expect a Locust to be. This is pretty brown.
It should have had chartreuse liners, because sometimes locusts have like crazy bright wings or something like that. They'll have a flash.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Just
I
perfect.
don't think I got a top-down shot of the liners. I have one from the spine on. So the liners are actually partially exposed here. You can kind of see the shadow from that here. And they're gripped. Oh, I should have got a picture of this knife in reverse grip. This knife kind of feels like it was also intended to be held in reverse grip, which is just all kinds of weird and wrong with this type of blade.
What are you talking about? It has like very, very strategic jimping on the backside. There's actually on their website, it has very clean picture. It's like the third picture in of
Well,
jimps.
I might actually look that up because it'd be cool to show.
Yeah, Gib to us.
So very much, and even with the like pointy part of that taper in a reverse grip, it's all kinds of waiting to happen, right? So
Yeah. Once again, they have elected to snub lefties.
milled clips.
Yeah.
People
I
with
mean-
milled clips don't do lefty things. I mean,
Except they do. Remember the
with
green?
the greeby. Yeah, the greeby. Greeby bastard. That's
Yeah, pretty much.
I do like the clip on this thing, I gotta say. It
It's not
does clips the pocket pretty nice.
Yeah, in and out of pocket was actually not too bad.
Yeah.
It's okay. The ergos or pocket ergos are still a goddamn 3. Put it on the left side, you sons of bitches. Yeah.
Not even a 7. Man, oh
Bro,
man.
just back pocket, wave it off your pocket with the flipper.
Wave. What the? Ugh.
I don't
You
think you know
gotta do
how
a-
waving
a
works.
pull push motion.
Paul,
I don't think
stop
you
that.
know how waving works, Paul. I think you've focused entirely
Alright.
too much on
So
a front flipper and not a back flipper. I don't know.
Modify it. Cut a hole in the hole so it becomes a wave.
Someone get in there and choke that guy out. Put him to sleep. Quietly. Shh. Okay, so Joe. It's
Go on, Joe. Tell us more.
oh man. Did we mentioned in the specs this thing is 154 CM, right?
Yes, I did mention in the spec. So, and again, bang for your buck.
I like 154. I think it's a great steal at most prices, and for something that seems to be leading towards a sort of self-defense-y sort of build, yeah, it's not the worst choice to make.
I didn't mention price point as far as that. Like good price point. Okay, here's the other thing, and good like 154 and whatever for the price of whatever. It's QSP's website is weird where they're doing a 120 regular MSRP, but then it's scratched out and it actually says 88.99 USD.
Yeah.
So is this knife actually on sale? But you look at a bunch of them and they're all kind of like that.
Yeah.
I get it on retailers' websites, the Blade HQs and the knife centers, and you're trying to take their MSRP and make your suggested retail look fancier by scratching it out compared to their MSRP. But why are you doing it on your own website? Like,
Yeah, like as the manufacturer, that's a little strange.
meh. This is like the trade value versus sell value that you see on social media almost type of thing, right?
A
Like,
little bit.
Yeah.
yeah.
It does incentivize people to buy, and ultimately that's the reason they do it. But I have to wonder, from a business and practicality standpoint, what these numbers actually do reflect. So,
Well, and on
um,
your manufacturing website, that's one thing. Like you've got a clearance website or you've got a storefront website that you're selling, whatever. It is what it is, right? But
Yeah.
yeah,
But like you said, there should be a website where you can just look at this is the cost of the thing because this is what it costs.
unless, you're Kershaw and you're doing a clearance sale for 75% off on their American stuff because they're clearing out cheap shit. But yeah.
What
Then
was
you
that?
can discount stuff. That's cool. Whatever, right? Do what you need to. Then you advertise it as a sale, but don't just put it on there as an everyday, hey, should be this, but actually this. You're like, well, that just tells me it should actually be this. It's that higher number should mean nothing at that point, right? Like,
ultimately,
Yeah.
yeah, that cost of acquisition. Um, Small thing, but I keep noticing it and forgetting about it, so I don't know how big of a deal it actually is. But the fact that they have their triangular pivot, which is it looks kind of cool, I like it. But then they've also got their QSP logo laser etched into the DLC on the or DLC black oxide coating on the blade. Why both? Why both?
Yeah. I think they need to get rid of that one.
They really do.
I'm not a fan.
Now this would be a very simple thing to fix. Some very fine grit sandpaper in a couple minutes of your time, and you're able to like make that whole blade satin if you wanted. But you shouldn't have to do that. I just don't think it looks good. I've had a hard time with QSP's logo, precisely because it does feel pretty lazy. It's just, and take this from a guy who uses his initials as his logo. Um, it just comes off as lazy, is what
but
it
I
looks
mean,
like.
CRKT has gone like so many different directions with etching, and the newest one is small, quiet, faint. CRKT numbers, boom, there it is.
Yeah.
Like the flamey stallion or whatever it is that they think. I don't know
Do you
whether
see
it's
a
flame.
stallion? Are you thinking
There's
Hinderer? Because
maybe I don't even know.
yeah.
Our boss.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's just a personal gripe, but I think that
I,
it's strange.
I think it's a backslide as far as what the customer base is looking for. People. From what I have experienced, if people have an opinion, it's usually less billboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it could be much more. There's still other companies that are blinging it up like crazy.
Microtech, Emerson knives, just
Well, and at least on the milled clip, it's just like a straight pattern. I mean, or is
yeah,
it?
okay. Count your blessings, I suppose. Yeah, it is just a kind of like a
No,
little triple
I
arrow
think.
thing.
Do they throw the logo on there too? I
Not
did.
on the
Oh no.
Locust.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's a fair point.
small gripe, but
Ben is asking, don't like the micarta, looks like cheap particle board. Is it coated or raw? I'm gonna say semi-coated,
coated.
like
I'm not.
polished, finished. Yeah, compared to
So
yeah,
coated. Okay, that might
not
that.
coated. Yeah, that's a like it's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
polished or yeah,
On yeah.
burlappy.
So there's a finishing process with micarta that's effectively bead blasting. Um, you can get similar results with a wire wheel. That's not too rough, I think. But I want to say that this still feels kind of waxy. Like it's mostly resin at the surface layer.
So if you've handled other QSP stuff, as far as like the penguins and in particular the denim penguin in particular, this is not as coarse or as raw fibery fabricy as the denim. I would say it's slightly more polished.
I feel like it could still take a pretty good dye job though, especially if you went
Yeah.
synthetic.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't
I think this with a nice dark maroon would look really good.
Yeah, a little leopard print on the close-ups. That's a good end grain. I like
Yeah.
the end grains. Yeah.
It's not bad.
So it's, I want to say, for lack of a better term, gummy feeling.
Yes, not exactly tacky in hand, but I definitely agree. Gummies,
Not
gummy,
polished, slippery, but not
Yeah.
super fabricy either.
What's a trying to think what's a good analog, like what's another knife, but
Benchmade Bushcrafter is still more polishy probably than this stuff is, but it's
Yeah.
not as polishy as
like the Spyderco,
Spyderco's, yeah.
the Line Spy is or Line Spy, the Spy Opera is more polished than this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can actually see the remnants of the 3D machining along the chamfers in this particular shot. It's a little hard to see because of the. I was focusing on the liner, so it got bright in weird areas. But I will say I am very happy to see that this isn't a very loose weave burlap micarta. I've worked with and have seen burlap micarta used in knives before, where it's very open. Like you can actually see like very wide weaves, and you can see gaps with lots of resin, and it catches light really nice. But I don't know. To me, it looks cheap. This looks a little bit more densely packed with fiber. It looks good. I'm happy they didn't go with a cheaper alternative. I will say though that this is probably the superior option. Have you guys taken a look at the what they call a blue micarta handle on their website?
No.
No,
I have. Yes.
I don't particularly like the look of it.
No, the original is better.
I think this is very much going to look like the blue Mamba.
See, but I like the blue on the Mamba. I don't like it here, but I'm not. Yeah.
No, I think this one the burgundy would offset that black blade nicely. I think it's just the wrong color palette.
Ah, I see. So
But the
Paul
color
is
is
talking about the hypothetical one that he's going to dye from the burlap.
Yeah. My idea is better.
I see.
So keeping that in mind, obviously the brown one is the superior option.
Yeah. It's got nicer texture in that micarta. It'll take that burgundy real good.
Good stuff. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, Locust. Come on. It's very thematic. It makes sense. The color's right.
Oh, absolutely.
Flipping action. There's been some inconsistent detent, some inconsistent lock stick with a couple of these models. Nothing like that would ruin a purchase necessarily, but there is definitely some variation I found. Steel on steel lock stick generally breaks in reasonably quickly, so I wouldn't be that concerned about it. But I definitely noticed.
Yeah, that I think again the inconsistency, for lack of it's not a deal breaker, but it was definitely noticeable that one of them in particular is definitely a lot more lock stickier than anything else you've played with. You did mention detents. So because I don't mind a softer detent, I don't pay attention to it unless it's too crispy.
Oh.
And then I'm like, what the hell? You're trying to kill my finger.
I was actually going to say, I did find one of them to be very crispy, to the point where it's like, I don't know if I even like that.
That's the one that I kept on Spidey flicking, though, because you get just enough pop that thing just...
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
See, these...
See, yeah, I was just going to get to that. I've tried spider flicking the other one, and didn't like it. Didn't like the way it sat in my hand. I had to use my middle finger. Like, index was right out. Because usually you could do either, right?
I was second finger, and that's my intuitive Spidey flick motion.
And same here for like my military or for the for the native. What do we do with the native? Anyway, doesn't matter. I remember the one at the stiff detent being awkward to reverse flick the hole. And the flipper was like very crisp on the edge of like maybe tone it down a little bit.
Maybe that's the only one that I played with. and maybe
Okay.
that's my. But I found flicking this knife incredibly awkward. I found the hole, like the geometry between where the hole is and the pivot, to be too close for good leverage for me.
I did also find that even on the softer detent, it wasn't a great knife to plant your thumb and open using the hole. It was okay for like using your thumb and index or thumb and middle finger to pop the blade out and then wheel it out the rest of the way. That was okay.
Yeah.
But
I found it
just
okay to like
doing
pop.
this was kind of uncomfortable.
The thumb pop was okay for me.
Okay. So maybe I'm just in this weird in between spot where it's just like not quite there.
I think you should just do better.
Well, hey, the other two locusts were fine. So, or the other locust I played with was fine, I should say.
Well, and again, with the thinner fingers, I don't know, the longer fingers on the flick or whatever, but as soon as I played with it the first time, I'm like, oh, it's poppy, but in a really fun way type of thing, right? So, yeah.
Fair enough.
It felt like I was gonna pop something, is the way I would describe it.
All right. Well, that's not great.
No.
Well, anything else we want to talk about this guy before we move on to the Hornbill? Because it's getting to be about that time, I think.
Yeah, I think we can wrap it up on this. We'll give our final assessments after we talk about the Hornbill, I think, and yeah, go from there.
Could be good. Last thought on this one for me, I guess I'm happy it's a Warncliffe blade. If it was a draw point or something with a bit of a trailing point to it, I don't know that I would like how it would align itself in my hand. So that's just one final thing. I think it was a smart choice, but only because I think the alternatives are just actually not great.
I like how Paul drifted off in thought and literally just screen disappeared for a while and then just came back and he was still just
actually drifted off. Yeah.
Got my head in the clouds, you know?
Glad you came back to us, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I was trying to ponder what other blade shape would look good on this knife. And
I think they need to make a Persian. It's the only answer.
You're a monster. They got to put the handle on backwards to do it.
Well, exactly, right? They got to Spyderco Myrtle it where they sharpen the wrong side of the knife.
Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that.
It's the Myrtle.
Hey, Myrtle doesn't need that.
Myrtle was murdered.
All right.
QSP Hornbill. Look at that fancy one on the top with all the fluting and the marbled carbon fiber and the S35 and the liners and the ceramic ball bearings. And wait, there's more specs. I got them. Wait, I can do it.
And that's the review.
3.25 blade length, 7.5 overall, 3 mil blade thickness, 3.88 ounces. I misspoke earlier. This one was actually the blade bald, not the other one, because the other one you can only get in one blade configuration.
Forgot to ask about that.
I did this one in more than one blade config.
What's that? Sorry.
You can get this one in more than one blade config.
Well, no, the black blade versus the stonewash.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
This was the blade bald one, not the Locust. The blade bald HRC, less than satin blade.
Oh, right. I forgot the other version of the Hornbill was a gold and black. Yeah.
Okay, so I said to Paul, and you need to put the black blade on that one to make it look proper.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's the right answer. Yeah. What is that material?
It's just carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber? Yeah.
Okay.
Golden CF. Yeah. So
my liver in a knife.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I kind of want to see it. It's too blingy for me, but I kind of want to see it. That's I don't know.
I kind of dig it.
Yeah, so Dick Richards, I don't know, the knife never needed to be made. First of all, what's that?
This isn't an Indela.
Indelas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The
The
knife
knife
that never needed to be made.
yeah, that still is the front runner for that knife in particular. But we were talking about actions and we finished on locusts with a Spidey flick, but damn son, this fun thing is fun to Spidey flick.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's
Yes, it
also a
is.
front flipper. It's also a hole. It doesn't have a regular flipper because whatever. But yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of happy it doesn't because I like that finger choil. It's not bad. In fact, it's pretty good.
Did you try joeing this one open, Joe?
Joeing it.
Your finger roll. The old, I give it the Joe.
Oh, over the top. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the record,
Finger
what he's talking about is this.
No, it's not.
Isn't it?
The
He's
side.
talking about the second finger roll
this.
that you do.
That, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and also it's a bit of a wide knife to do that with, but you can. Here's a picture of it close up in the choil. Here's another picture of it with an open hand. It's a fair size knife. Like I don't really know what I expected, but I don't think I expected it to be quite this wide. It's a strange, like half scimitar, half clip, like swedgy blade. I kind of dig it.
It kind of looks like something I would see out of a Microtech, to be honest with you.
Well, and if you don't,
I'm gonna get QSP sued.
Yeah, no, you're gonna get sued. Like, let's just be honest here. But if you took away the thumb stud and the hole in particular, and you just looked at the blade shape, it's a PPT.
So that's why I like it.
Yeah. All right. Close. Close enough. Yeah. For sure.
Look at the swedge off the back, and then the belly of it, and then it's got some vibe to it.
This is a. Oh yeah, Dennis, go for it.
Well, I was gonna say, especially in the size comparison that I took, it's sized with the Dragonfly and with that finger choil in particular. It actually made me think a lot of this knife as a native, but even this knife is a hint bigger than a native. Like it's almost a PM2. It has more vibes of a native vibe for me than it does for a PM2. But because of the finger choil and because like this is really like a PM2 contender for them, and even price point, it's kind of a PM2 contender. S35, fancier carbon fiber, but if you look at the specs of it,
and this thing does get reasonably thin behind the edge. I know I said that about the Locust, but that was with consideration to the blade stock thickness. This thing actually, it's a pretty slicey blade. I think this was a couple weeks ago now, but I want to say I got a picture looking up the. Yes, I did. Here it is.
What were you looking up?
Okay. Would you like to know? No.
Well, you're about to post it on YouTube. Yeah, I would like to know.
Looking right up the grind of that knife.
Right up the grind.
Infinite's got a pretty strong opinion about this being a PM2 contender.
Except that it kind of sucks. Jesus, dude. I mean, sure, it kind of gives the middle finger to lefties, but I didn't know you cared at all about that.
I kind of dig this. I like the milling.
I have to be honest. For the Hornbill, this was a knife. I'm like, the handles are kind of neat. Like I like the milling, but I don't think I don't see myself liking it. I actually really like this knife. This knife.
I was surprised.
What's that?
I was just pleasantly surprised. I was agreeing with you.
Yeah. Something else. Thick handles, yes, like the absolute measurement from the outside of one handle to the outside of the other. A little bit thicker than what we're seeing from a lot of companies, but with all the milling and all the contouring going on, it feels substantial, but still comfy. You know, like it's not strenuous, not strange to hold. I'm trying to think of a good example. Most of my knives are put away right now, actually, unfortunately, but.
I'll say it right now, and Infinite's gonna hate me for it. I would take this with a righty only over a PM2 that gives me lefty options.
Ooh, yeah, spicy. That's a spicy hot take, man.
Well, this knife is cheaper and fancier.
Cheaper and fancier. Okay.
Probably got a stronger tip.
100% it does. Yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, I'm not sure.
And it's already waiting for me to have a button lock conversion kit already made for it. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, there was like an earlier conversation we were having at the shop where we were commenting on the appearance of the handle scales. I think it was, I forget if which one of you was saying it, but like, yeah, it's like they realized halfway through design that like, wait, this thing's already super expensive the way that we're going. We can't have it be a button lock on top of having the fancy milling for the handles and the blade milling and the S35VN.
So
I think I might have mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah.
if you were here a couple weeks back, we were talking about some of the button lock options from QSP, and you actually mentioned some of the inconsistencies with the swordfish and the button lock and so on and so forth. Now, I know this knife was a slightly later release than the swordfish. Maybe there was this change because they've been struggling with getting some button locks consistent. And if you're going to put out a premium knife and not a $60 or a $75 knife, that button lock better not have that janky shelf on the back tang. Yeah, a little back tang, janky shelf.
Back tang shelf.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
Maybe that little button is a something because they were like, nope. Gonna charge $200. Let's just make it a ladder.
It's a shame that they didn't just finish remodeling the handles to continue the sweeps, or at least blend that ridge a little bit better. But ultimately, I don't think it looks bad. It just looks a little bit strange.
And I did not mention price point once again on this guy. The made up price of $199 American on their sale, but their sale price of $158.40 USD on their website.
Yeah.
So again, even in CAD prices, this thing is not that much money for what you're getting. And I don't have to buy the fancy Flytanium scales for an extra $100 to make it look prettier.
No, this is actually really nice out of box.
Or squared G10 slabs that
and
hurt
it's a
my hand because
it's
delicate.
Dude, it's just
delicate apple pickers.
I know.
The fact that Spyderco refuses to put a 45-degree chamfer on their military lineup in general just baffles me. But yeah, anyway.
No comfort for you, Joe.
Well, Jesus Christ, it's such a. Anyway, I'll bitch about that another day. Trying to remember, I have other photos. Yeah, this is the clip that had the QSP logo on it. It's not the worst logo, so I don't. I don't know why it doesn't bother me as much here, as opposed to being on the blade. Maybe just again that whole idea of less billboarding, but
easier to remove here.
Yeah, still a little weenusy. And
Not
it's so close to being a symmetrical clip.
Yeah,
and yet it's
they
not.
went another way to like hide the blade steel. Like, kind of tuck it away.
This one does
and
also
then
hide.
billboard.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird combination of dumb.
It is a little strange, yeah.
There was too many ideas going all at the same time.
Yeah.
What the hell were both of your points? Jesus Christ here.
So I was saying that they were extremely close to making this pocket clip completely symmetrical, but they had offset both the top of it above the screws and at the bottom here below the point. You can see that it's clearly intended to go on one side. And they could have made it reversed, and they could have given it a titanium plate, but they didn't. Then Paul was saying that it's strange that they went for the billboarding on the pocket clip and then bothered to give you this tiny little text for the S35VN that's hidden when the knife is open. So
yeah, and again, that's subtlety, but I think QSP has been relatively good about being subtle on their blade steel markings.
It was more on the blade in previous generations. Like, I think the Penguin's just like small script in a
just
plain spot.
D2.
Yeah. Same thing with what is it? They had a couple of models that say 14. I think even the Swordfish has a 14C just kind of black.
You can see there. D2.
Yeah. So, but it's relatively small text. That's fine. Yeah.
This is definitely a turn towards the like Civivi Wee Knives kind of.
So Dick Richards has made it very well known about his opinion in the chat. Apparently, the artistic side of that knife is completely lost on this particular. But yeah, maybe you
Lost
should actually
plot of
hold a knife. If it was black G10 and just like made by, PPT instead, you'd be like, damn, it's a great knife. But you can't hide it behind the blue flashy stuff and the milled titanium. So all of a sudden it's an ugly knife because of that. To each their own. I don't like Timascus, but when you hold it, you're like, yeah, that's a lot more comfy than I thought it was going to be.
feels pretty nice in hand. I like fluting and milling in my knife handles.
Gotta admit too, like, and this is a tangent, but I mean, like, we're past the point of looking at just functional tools here. We're looking at pocket jewelry a lot of the time, and we're looking at pieces where it's like, yeah, there's enthusiast elements to talk about, and guys who like to collect Glocks will call them enthusiast elements to make themselves feel a little bit better about it. But it's art at the end of the day, and whether you like it or hate it, at least you can have a general opinion. Speaking of general opinion, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about these. They look like folds in fabric sometimes, and then other times when I look at it, it looks like a weird bat wing that's kind of like flayed out. And either one bothers me, but it's weird how like it just shifts when I look at it.
What are those deep sea? Is it the vampire octopus that's all membranous
Yeah,
in between its legs?
they're all like shoosh.
Yeah,
think,
it kind of gives that vibe. I got a
little
little
bit.
Cthulhu action going on.
Oh, a little bit. I like that. I'm gonna choose to believe that was the inspiration then.
There you go.
I don't know how the yellow and black looks in person, but in photos it doesn't look like it would read as nicely, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if it would hide it more because of the glit on that one, right? Like it's
Like the blue is fairly subtle compared to the black, whereas the yellow and the black here, I don't know, it's a bit
CJ's
overpowering.
comment has been the best thing I've seen all night. That's fantastic, CJ. It's
So I feel like this is more yellow than gold, and I feel like gold would have been like, that's not something you see every day.
But again, this knife is kind of deceiving because even the blue one, you don't really see it on their website, and then you actually hold it, and you're like, okay, that's actually a lot nicer. Yeah, and even the rippling on it, and like even like you were saying about how much it might hide in the gold. I don't know. You might see it out there. And as far as worst knife ever, there, Dick Richards. I mean, it's not a SOG, so.
I was gonna say there's a lot of K bars out there that we could slag on here.
Yeah,
well, I mean, yeah.
Look, I don't necessarily enjoy garnering ill will and intent on the channel, but we could have a slag fest if we wanted to just go to town on knives that are just dog shit. We could do that all week. But honestly, I it's okay to not like things, but to say it was poorly executed, it's a bit disingenuous.
It's a well-built tool for sure.
At the end of the day, yeah.
Okay, he did change his opinion and say worst looking. That's fair.
Yeah, that's entirely fair.
Yeah.
I still think the wrinkle gets that, unless you're
unless you're into buttholes.
Unless you're into poop.
Yeah, well, I mean, the CRKT ritual is still a good seller, so let's. Sometimes people's opinions
silly.
Might
it looks
not
like
be
a penis.
accurate.
It looks like a penis.
Yeah, it's pretty penis.
Yeah. Speaking of reverse grip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad it took a couple seconds on that one there, Joe. But
yeah, no,
I'm
trying not to cry. It's great. No, what's the meme going around that Grimsmo Norseman just looks like a big old horse cock? Is the second. It's like, but as soon as it was said to me, I was like, no, it does. No, it totally does. Kind of.
Yeah, I'll never not see that again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, thanks, you've ruined it.
No, it's still
I still like the blade shape, but it's just one of those things. It's like, yeah, that phrase is gonna stick now. Lanyard. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say the fact that like with the hole and the thumb stud, I think that's what's actually detracting away from everything. If you made that a satin blade across the top and just made it with a harpoon grind, that would just be a knife with a harpoon grind, like anything else type of idea, right? But I think because it's got that really accentuated hole, and again, you're talking about a Microtech-esque kind of vibe to it.
Okay.
The thing that I like about a hole in this shape, though, is you get to set your detent level. Because depending on where in that hole you flick from,
Yeah,
get a
for
different
sure.
experience.
But if you plain
guess.
Janed this knife out as far as an art knife, and you just made black G10, got rid of the hole, got rid of the thing, blah blah blah, just made a normal thumb stud on it.
It's a PPT.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not. There's
It's
a lot
an
of knives out
era.
there that look just like that. Yeah. So
Yeah. So I'm glad they went through the extra effort. Although, here's my one gripe. I kind of wish they picked a direction in terms of hole or stud. I kind of wish they just went with one. Um, and I feel this way about the Demco 20.5 as well. And I feel about this way about a lot of knives that have both. It's just, I'm not saying you have to pick a side and stick with it, god damn it, but I'm kind of saying that.
Pick a lane.
I think it would look a lot cleaner. I think it'd be easier to clean, work with, and I don't know that you get. I don't think you really get that much benefit doing both compared to just doing one well. You know.
Infinite in chat actually made a comment about adding a Emerson wave and make a regular flipper and give it this and give it that and give it all the opening options. And it's like, yeah, it's a front flipper, it's an opening hole, or a thumb stud. Would have been fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet you I could flick this thing open. How much does it like tuck away into the handle when it's closed? I don't think I tried.
what do you mean flick open?
Like the way that I do off like the flats of my
Oh, like pressure on the side of the grind, kind of like you just press on the blade and.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if you can get that done or not.
I don't remember how much of this blade is exposed.
One of my minor talking gripes about would be we talked about the choice not to put a button lock
all day.
What?
Yeah. Oh, just
totally could flip that open all day.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it chose not to put a button lock, but that seems to be where all the fluting has come from. But then you've got this weird pivot right on the side of all this sunburst stuff, and this off in the corner you got like, is that the moon? On both sides, like, and you notice it on the triangle side more in particular, because the triangle side of the pivot is a bit of an accent, but then also the sunburst is also trying to compete to be an accent. Like if you showed us a pic of the other side,
yeah,
there, Joe.
I was trying to dig one up, but this is
Okay.
the only close up I got.
No, that's fair. They should have changed the focus.
Yeah. Now, I will say though that you do lose. There's this interesting, and I say interesting loosely, but I mean like aesthetically interesting. There's this interesting effect.
Just go to even the size comparison shot, Joe, so you can just see the whole.
Oh,
yeah, or one of the there, like even there you go.
Yeah. Where'd we go?
Like that looks weird.
It's a little bit strange. But if you had all the accenting coming off of the pivot, then you're gonna lose all the detail towards the front end of like the top end of the handle in this sort of area. You would lose all this interesting wave. It would have to come off of that, and I think you would lose a lot of definition. I do wish they would have done something else, like maybe carved away where the button would have been to give you a bit of a pinch point or something like that. I don't know.
Completely. Sorry, I was reading Justin's comment there. The large committee that designed this knife should make up their minds and also be fired.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. But yeah, I
feel
do.
like that might be
so
part
the only issue I have with that particular comment is the fact that he said large committee.
Yeah.
It wasn't that many people working on this one.
Even if it's 5 or 6, that's too many too many fingers in the pot, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what would have been kind of weird, and would have probably raised the price by like $20, but I kind of would have liked to have seen it. If they had gone for like a hidden hardware approach, and they put the screw where that cutout is.
For the pivot, that would rotate really weird, dude.
And then, no, the pivot wouldn't actually be there. Fuck. Just the decorative element. Jesus.
Why does this knife open like a Canadian belt knife now? Like, it's weird.
Everything's forward. What the fuck? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I take it back. Yeah,
scratch that. I changed all my mind. I'm now going to make a button lock Canadian belt knife.
I understand what you're saying though, Joe, and I don't disagree with you. If you hid the actual pivot screw underneath the carbon fiber and just put that element in that button,
Yes. I don't.
yeah,
Yeah, the only reason not to again is just it would jack up the price a bit. And this
yeah.
knife already is it's in a great spot, like what Dennis was saying. Like when you compare it to what else is out there, I'm not saying people are getting tired of the ultralight bandwagon, but more and more knives are coming out with full steel builds that are not terribly inexpensive, with a ton of different variations of blade variations. So
Well,
I don't think
and
that this is in a bad spot.
and even like the Locust was at whatever it was, over a 4 ounce, but not by much. This one's a 3.88. So for a long time, it was just like 2.5, 3 ounce. That's all you could come out with, was just like these crazy lightweight, blah, blah, blah.
No.
Guys are not afraid. Like all of a sudden, brass made a comeback, and you're like, here's a hawk at 8 ounces. Deal with it, type of like it's yeah. So
Yeah, don't do it.
Fucking thing is a 3.25 inch blade.
yeah,
It's
not
like
only that, we're
7
not going to
ounces.
skeletonize the liners for you. Solid steel liners.
Liners are solid steel. There's no contouring. Like, well, okay, there's a little contouring on the top of the brass, but like brass is heavy. Like
They dimpled it.
Like I think brass is something like 15% heavier than steel, or something like that. Like 12 or 15% heavier than steel. So it's like that's ridiculous. You're making a tiny knife $110 weight. I will reiterate though that this knife reminded me how much I like wide and fairly reasonably thick handles in folders. And as much as I enjoy stuff like the Slike, where it's like this thing weighs, like, by the way, like 1.9 ounces, like it's stupid lightweight and stupid thin. But I also really like stuff like the Hornbill. It feels great in hand. It feels somewhat substantial. Yeah, sure, it takes up a bit more room in the pocket, but I don't know. It feels a bit more like a tool. Kershaw
It definitely
induction
doesn't
as
feel
well.
heavy by any stretch.
Well, no, and skeletonized liners. Did I get a good photo? I don't know. Let me look. Not really. Yeah, picture of spine here.
It's
you can kind of see some levels.
Just under 4 ounces and just under 4 inches in blade, like three and a quarter.
It's pretty close to that 1 ounce an inch thing that guys are often using as a metric.
That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think this is a good move. I like it. I like it a lot.
It's nice to see that QSP can make something a little bit higher end too.
And definitely some conflicting opinions between the guys in the chat and the guys who have played with the knife. And again, some of the guys in the chat have played with the knife. It's good and fine. It's still not their cup of tea, but you know.
I don't know if this is indicative of this topic of conversation, but we did have somebody come in over the weekend who was specifically looking for a hornbill, and he went home with a grebe.
Yes.
So,
that's fair.
He just liked that it glowed in the
dark. that helped.
It did.
The S35 aspect of it, I mean, there's some contenders, and it's this guy. You're paying a little more for all of the fluting and the blue carbon, whether you like it or not. You're paying for it because it's extra work for them to do it, rather than just a Raffir Noble, which you're paying for the Noble scales, Sir Noble, as it were.
Sir,
it's
Mr. Raffir.
Mm-hmm. So, and CJ, it does have Stitch vibes. 100% it does.
That's probably why I like it. See, I like those knives that look like the thing that I like.
Sure.
That's a shocker how that works, right?
Yeah.
I just thought that Paul was like, yes, Leela. And that's the one. Lilo and Stitch.
It's blue. I've never actually seen that movie.
There you go.
It's blue and it's this and it's. I mean, I've never seen that movie.
This would have been
memes, bro.
This would have been a great. Yeah, no shit. Hey, this would have been a great size comparison. But like, I kind of want to compare this to a Tenacious in S35. Blue handles, roughly the same size blade, kind of leafy, sort of.
I just need to point out both Infinite and CJLA in chat are giving me the business for not having watched this movie. I'm pretty sure I'm 10 years older than both of you. So my Disney is not this Disney. You know?
It's...
That's Lion King era. Give me a break. Little Mermaid.
What's your Disney?
Aladdin. Probably,
not
definitely
this channel.
Aladdin.
Not this channel, that's for sure.
Aladdin was good shit. There was a whole animated series. It was wonderful. But just
Aladdin animated series, exactly. Yes, 100%. It
was great.
I agree. Yes.
But yeah, if people are talking about like, oh, so ugly, I mean, like, yeah, but Tenacious is pretty ugly. And guys like to say that the Tenacious is like the best working knife you can get for the dollar. There's people who still make that argument today, even in the face of
Spider coats are ugly.
Yeah, 100%. But I would argue that you're getting an arguably as comfortable, if not more comfortable, handle with the same blade steel, with some fancier elements for not that many more dollar redos. Both are made in China. So, there's that.
Oh, this just called me old in the best way possible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Paul
good
Mickey
stuff.
Mouse is whistling at a paddle steamer. Not quite, but
then you had to play your organ like this.
I watched Bambi in theater.
Any final thoughts on this guy?
But it happened.
I don't care what anyone says. I like it. It's a little pricier, and I would also go with a Greeby if I was buying it, because it's S35 with glow-in-the-dark shit that's also fancy and fancy handles, and slightly less money with fancy handles. But the Greeby doesn't spider flick like this sumbitch does. It's got a flipper. And the first thing I flipped, like Spidey flipped this thing. It's fun as hell for me to just sit there and flicky.
I don't love the blade shape on the Greeb. It's the only thing I don't like.
We'll get you a Tanto. It's fine.
No, I don't want that either.
the clip point looks so
fine.
nice
You
on
just
the
can't
Greeb.
satisfy you then. Shit.
Well, like maybe I could get the Tonto and de-Tonto it.
Paul. No. Bad.
Yeah.
Look, I turned it into a clip point.
Yeah, I'll turn it into like a Roselle or like a Greg Lightfoot.
No.
It's a pretty severe Tanto, isn't it?
Not that severe. Not severe enough.
Okay, fair enough. It's a more affordable microtech with non-proprietary hardware. Yeah, I still want a Stitch though.
Yeah.
Like a fool. Like a damn fool.
All right. So final scorings? Anything? Locust, Hornbill? Anything in particular?
The Hornbill, I'm going to give 2 out of 3 possible holes, because it has 2 out of 3 possible holes. That lanyard hole is fucking stupid, for the record.
Yeah, they should have never done it.
Yeah, facts. It's weird of you to talk about its holes.
Yeah, well, got to score it somehow, so figured I'll get 2 out of 3 holes.
I was going to actually give it 2 PPs out of T, so I guess we got the same score.
Hey. Pressure's on.
A little PP. I see.
A little PP.
Oh, you'll enjoy this one. You'll enjoy this one because it's the Hornbill, of course. Then I am going to rank it one bushy-crested, silver-cheeked, tickle-brown trumpeting rhino.
Sounds like one weird tickle fight.
Yeah, no one wins that tickle fight, but all of those things are types of hornbills, because the types of hornbills run deep when you look at the types of hornbilled birds that are out there.
Every time
I learn about the names... blue?
What's that?
Are any of the hornbills blue?
Probably. They have many different colored hornbills. There's grays and browns and silvers and so on and so forth. but there's also a rhinoceros hornbill, which is just, extra good. And I think that's where it's got the inspiration, because these guys are saying it's just as ugly. And if you look up a rhinoceros hornbill, Joe, you can see where the inspiration came from. And all of a sudden, all of these guys' comments will make all sorts of sense to everyone.
I just want to say, Infinite is asking if we can just dump on Marfion for a while in chat. So I'm sorry about your upcoming legal battle, but good luck.
Best of luck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of the hornbill.
Joke's on you.
Oh my god, these birds are terrifying.
Yeah, there you go. There's your inspiration.
Oh wow, these things look cool as shit.
You can really see the dinosaur, eh?
You can really see the ugly in it.
Oh no, man, these things are cool.
You can totally see the dinosaur in it, though, for sure. What a chore.
Wow, these things
there's
just
so many
live
different
lives,
types of hornbills that are horny and billy.
Yeah, that's one horned bill. I now understand where the unicorn myth comes from.
It's an aroused William. Thank you very much.
Nah. Nah.
Nah.
Nah,
that's all you get.
There'll be none of that.
That ain't it. Nah.
That ain't it.
That ain't it. Jesus wept and said, "This ain't it." Wow, well that's quite the score. I guess we should.
That's what you get.
I heard the second part.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's all you needed to.
I guess we never really gave a proper rating to the Locust. I guess we should do that.
I was going to give it 8 locust parts per 100 grams.
I hear that's a delicacy.
Yeah. I can't remember if that's chocolate or peanut butter, and I might be slightly off in my numbers, but
I don't know.
Legal allotment.
I see.
Yeah. There's a reason there's protein in ketchup.
All right.
So I'm going to rank this roughly 4,368. So might be controversial here on the score.
Out of?
Well, that's roughly how long ago the Egyptians were inscribing locusts on their hieroglyphs. For a very short amount of time, the Egyptians inscribed locusts as hieroglyphics on their Egyptians, and it may or may not have coincided with biblical terms. Probably not, but it's kind of funny that it does. There's theories. Anyway, so yeah, controversial. I told you, controversial. But my score is 4,368.
Okay.
2000 BC, blah, blah, blah. Egyptians were doing hieroglyphs with locusts. And then they stopped. Before and after that, not really much hieroglyphs on locusts. A little here and there. But then there was a small amount of time where locusts were a hot ticket in Egyptian hieroglyphs.
I mean, it makes sense. Locust swarms are bad.
There was one north of Winnipeg here. Where was it? It was not 18 something. It was documented after Canada became a thing. People were getting scurvy because of the locusts. Yeah, Canadian history. Learn about it. Come on.
All right.
You're welcome, QSP. Thank you for the educational lesson.
What? I missed that last part. I was reading chat.
Oh, Canadian locust swarm 1876 something Winnipeg. People got scurvy because they were eating too many veggies. The more you know.
Look, the answer is yes. I laughed at Canadian tragedy because it happened to people in Winnipeg, but I feel like that's allowed in some way, acceptable even. One might say.
Well, scurvy explains a lot. I mean,
it sure does.
Good times. So, anyway, yeah, because 4,000 years is roughly how long? 2080, 2000 BD. Anyway, yeah.
Gotcha.
Could have been 1876, but there was other shit going on, man. Apparently, no one cared about the Locusts in Winnipeg because 1876 had some other shit going on that year.
We have other things to worry about. I was just gonna rate this one plague short of a bushel, but you already got me there with the plague
The
count,
Locust?
so.
Oh, the plague thing was coming. It was
Yeah,
waiting to be had.
absolutely.
So,
So yeah, there you have it. Some interesting liner lock options from QSP. Both relatively high end for their lineup. Some surprises here. Some very divisive aesthetics in both camps. In both
makes
cases.
me really chuckle that the Locust is the favored of these two knives
Yeah,
in
that's-
our
I'm
response
surprised
this
by that.
evening.
It's pretty fucking
That's
strange, guys.
horseshit.
Yeah.
That's straight up. I don't know what's going on out here.
Yeah.
I
think
just
you
want
know
to give a quick
someone.
shout out to CJLA in chat. He's the best viewer because he was the first person to like this live stream. So thanks to you.
He's the guy that says first.
Yeah, he did.
It's good. It's good times.
Oh,
Indeed,
man.
I appreciate it. What do I win?
We always
Chris,
do.
high five.
Mine aren't going to be that crisp.
I'm gonna make it hurt.
Well, Paul said I had to do it. Like, it's not coming from my own volition at this point. The crispiness is, I mean, what's a soggy high five worth
I was gonna say,
nowadays?
did your high five go stale?
It's-
A stale high five.
Is that like if you leave it hanging for too long? And
that's
you put
it.
Down, that's a stale high five.
It's stale. You got to put that thing down. It's too stale.
Yeah, your high five's going moldy.
Yeah, well, that'll happen. Wash your heads. Justin's giving thumbs down and unsubscribing.
Oh well, fuck you then.
Well, someone's got to take Fisk's place. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a while since I didn't care about someone unsubscribing.
Well,
So
just kidding. Love you,
Yeah.
buds.
it's been a while since that meant nothing to me.
Shorting high five futures. I hate you, Justin. I hate that. I hate it
Shorted
so
high
much.
five future. That's it. We're calling the show here for today. That's enough. Oh man.
We have other topics. We have other things.
I was just attempting to take my ball and go home, except I'm already home, so I guess the ball's not going anywhere.
No.
Don't answer that.
I didn't take my ball home, but I did end up with one of these.
One of what?
Indeed.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
good for stabbing. Yeah.
Mine's out there.
Yeah.
My cat was playing with it. It was really cute.
Nice. Was he carrying it in his teeth like a little pirate?
She was attempting to. Kept dropping it.
You can get that little pirate costume for Halloween that sits on the front of the cat like a bib.
Yeah.
You need to do that. Yeah.
Oh, I might. She's gonna hate me, but I might do it. The dog doesn't care. I can do whatever I want to the dog. Put whatever kind of costume on it. It doesn't give a shit. But the cat might hold a grudge.
I'm being asked what I'm drinking in chat. If it's engine coolant. It's Viking engine coolant, also known as mead. Just to cool down the Viking engine.
I see.
Mm-hmm. Tell me that's not an accurate description of mead.
You know, stroke.
Yeah.
Stroke.
It'll do that too. It'll give you a stroke.
So who's got topics? A couple quick ones before we go.
Yeah. Yeah, who wants to go first?
Someone go first.
All right, I'll go first.
Okay, that's good because I can't find the page I saved. Yeah.
You should go and just Google the Leatherman Harvest, Joe.
Leatherman Harvest?
Harvest, yeah. Fixed blade. It's on Leatherman's website, but that was the easiest way I was able to find it.
Oh, yeah.
Good call, buddy. Here we go.
I heard about this stupid thing.
Oh, I said bam, but there's a... Bam. What do you mean this stupid thing? Did you hear about the other stupid... Anyway, we'll get there.
It's like they made a bushcrafter.
I was gonna say they made a Benchmade bushcrafter and kind of combined it with a heli knife and was like, ta-da! What's the steel on it? 420 high carbon.
S35.
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 Yeah.
It's better than anything they put in their actual multi-tools.
Yeah.
Almost. We'll come back to that.
Well, they got Magna Cut. It's fine.
That's what I wanted to come back to. Yeah.
It's fine. It's no. There's no coming back.
Can we talk
No.
about how awful the teeth is? But the knife looks pretty good.
It's actually not bad. What the hell is the price point?
$250.
That's not horrendous.
250 American.
That's not horrendous. It's American
It's-
made, but what's the Benchmade bushcrafter for that's 30?
Is
It's not
it-
horrendous. It's
What's the blade stock on this guy? It looks pretty reasonable. It doesn't.
does it
say.
have the same lifetime warranty that Leatherman products have?
Better.
warranty?
No.
No, Leatherman Garage product offering as limited run product is not covered by the replacement portion of our standard 25-year warranty.
What steel does the Leatherman charge in titanium have? For the blade?
S30.
Okay.
It's 30.
Justin was correct.
The this is kind of neat though.
It definitely has some bench maybe vibes to me. Bench maybe vibes.
The maybe.
Yeah, the
bench
bench maybe.
maybe.
The spine is very much some of the Hunt series stuff
Mhm.
with the extra grip.
Yeah.
And that sheath is god awful, but not a fan.
Well, again, also bench maybe.
That's that's fair. You got me there.
Which is Benchmade? The
Oh no, he said the sheath has gone awful. And I was like,
Oh,
well, you
yeah.
said it was reminding you of being bench matey.
no, that's actually the one thing I was gonna say. This sheath looks really.
Okay, so here's the one thing. Okay, it looks like it might be ambidextrous. Might be able to go lefty righty with it.
If you give them a few months and you let what's his name that makes the Leatherman sheaths design a good one for them, they can just steal that later.
Well, no, they got to wait like 3 to 4 years for it to become popular first.
Oh, there you go. Here.
Yeah. Make sure all the R and
They
D.
can probably speed that up at this point though because of his popularity.
We'll just make sure all the pesky R and D's out of the way.
They've already done that leg of the design team. Yeah. Anyway,
I just want to say though, thinner handle than the Bushcrafter. I don't know how comfortable that would be in the woods for batoning and stuff. It might be a little pokey.
Yeah. I will say though, the one thing that surprised me was even my fixed bladed Contigo for like feather sticking and like bushcraft stuff. Pardon me. But how easy it was to use. I got you.
Got us both. Damn.
Empathetic response. I'm not a psychopath that you know of.
That we know.
Man, that was a test.
Of the emergency broadcast system?
Yeah.
Every time, man. Every time.
Yeah.
It's all I test for nowadays.
I
That is fair.
refuse to ask for clarification.
I'll pull out the litmus paper. We're still testing.
Uh-oh. So this don't be excited. You can not get this harvest from Leatherman. They're already sold out.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it just got announced. I didn't realize it was released.
This is kind of like how when Buck does a number of their limited releases online. It's like, oh, it's available for like a day or 2 days, and then it's gone.
Well, I mean, if they are gauging interest, I guess it is batch number 6. So
Yeah. See, here's the
What do I know?
thing. I forget
This is
constantly that the
this
garage.
is a buck of the month club. Is that what they're doing here?
It's pretty much, yeah. I constantly forget that Leatherman's garage exists. I forget that it exists, but hey, it exists, and you can go there.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, you can park it in the garage. It's good. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Arc is a thing. That has Magna Cut, and it's based on the free. It was the free series that had the magnetic D10. You could butterfly it open and closed, multi tool plier.
Yeah, it was free.
Um,
It was free falling. It's good. Yeah.
the the arc is still not listed on their website, which is just super excellent.
It's none of your business.
But there's some
Just mind your business.
pretty much.
Mind your P's and Q's.
Yeah, but hey, a fixed blade that you can't buy is just as good. Well, actually, it's better because you can see specs and shit.
I genuinely didn't realize it was something like that. I thought it was just like an announcement. This is coming soon. I didn't read that far, and I like 10 minutes before the stream, I was like, I should know what steel this is in. So I looked.
All right, fair.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
Good
pretty much
times.
all I wanted to say about it.
That's your fancy little thing? Yeah.
That's one of them. Yeah.
It's one of
But,
them.
I got another.
I see.
Yeah.
You're on a roll. Keep it coming. What else
All
you
right,
got for us,
fine.
Paul?
I got if you go to headesigns.com and look up the Venom and Elixir.
Yeah. I've heard of these said knives in the pill form. In the pill form, as it were.
They are definitely spectacular.
The Venom and the Elixir.
V2.
Yeah, they should come up on the same page together.
V2.
Yeah, V2.
So there's a blue. Oh, I like that blue. And there's a gray.
I feel some ways.
So the Venom's got the handle milling, and the Elixir just has the micro milling. Is that the main difference here?
Yes. Yeah.
Is one a liner, one a
I've
frame?
done that in the past as well with different poison and things like that.
They're both frame blocks. Okay. Well, that's kind of cool. So what is 300 to get you?
I believe it's M390 in titanium.
Cool.
Yeah. So I don't know if you will be surprised by this, but I have two favorites. I like one of each. Can you guess which one of each that I like?
You like the plain pill shape Elixir in gray, and you like the Venom in blue?
Oh, fuck you. Yeah. How'd you know? Immediately.
Because that's what I would choose.
Go to the Elixir in gray again.
Your Elixir in gray, nice and boring.
Yeah, I'm into it. It's so plain.
It's nice. For the record, I do think those are the right choices. I think maybe overly analyzing this, but the added visual complexity of the deeper grooved lines. When you start adding color, you get opportunities for light and shadow to play a little bit more, so it changes that color even further. And thinking about dust and debris and shmoo, whatever else building up, like you're gonna get even further changes to the color. I think that's really cool. If it were me personally, between those top two of yours, I'd be going with the Venom blue all day. As far as
that's funny. I would go with the Elixir first, and then Venom blue second.
Funny. I've also I don't know. I've been leaning away from like plain stuff more and more lately too. So
yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, Dennis.
It's just that blade shape is so middle of the road. It's basically a flipper version of an elephant's toenail, which I'm into.
Dude, that's a Kephart blade. It's what that is. It's
nothing new. This company, HEA, has done these kind of pill-shaped knives for a while now, right? So
yeah. What's your preference, Dennis? I'm
of course,
assuming
gray. Why are you asking?
No. But handle.
What is the gray Venom?
The gray Venom. Here's the gray Venom closed.
No, gray Elixir.
Yeah, really? Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get your milling away from me.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I like the milling with the color.
Yeah.
I like the idea even of carrying that knife for so long that all the color comes off the high points and you only have it in the milling.
Well, and I was going to say, I bet you I like the gray milling more in person than I do in the picture. I bet you I do. When I see that gray milling in person, I bet you I go, okay, that's not actually that bad. But yeah.
I just really like the super plain with that blade shape and everything else, it just
Mm-hmm.
falls
Mm-hmm.
in line. It's like a brain reset.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah, but those are my things.
Pretty cool.
So there,
Pretty
things
cool.
have been found.
They're all
Yeah, they
right, I
have.
guess. They're all right. I've seen better.
As far as things go.
That's-
Stop rating my thing. Sign up
uh,
for this.
yeah, that's a thing rating. I think you can get that on another subscription, but
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's so.
feedfinder.com.
Is that feet?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's what
Finder.
I thought. I got small something.
Okay.
I sent Joe an email about Sunday topic.
You did. I guess I gotta open that email and save the content so I can show the lovely people.
Well, how much for poisons? $300 US, $400 CAD,
Yep,
give or take. Yeah.
thereabouts.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's a lot of didgeridoos for that.
Yeah, it's a lot of money for that knife, but in a theoretical world where one just kind of falls into my lap.
Where you're like, hey, that's a cool knife, but it's
Yeah.
too much money. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I have your email here. Which photo am I throwing up?
The screenshot, not the um
Not the photo.
not the photo. Yeah.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I don't know if this is on your radar. It's been kind of a long-standing background knife. We've reviewed it on the channel. We gave it great reviews for being a budget option back in the day. But Rook knives, the P801, has kind of been the blue budget flipper Sebenzi. Came out with G10 options.
That was
Really?
not on my radar. Yeah, I did not know that.
Huh.
Now,
So
Lighter weight.
G10 still frame lock, or did they
still
switch to
frame
liner?
lock. No, still frame lock.
Cool,
So,
cool.
No, I would like liner more, but
Me too. But
Do you like the
this
orange though? It's like in a cheap option for out in the woods.
with the blue contrast, kind of cool.
Sure. Yeah,
With the black and you've got the OD green, but then you've got the gold pivot collar.
Somebody
Kind of a
load
cool
gold.
contrast on that too. Good choice, guys. Good choice. Yeah.
it's not bad.
So yeah, I don't know what the price point will be, but if the stainless steel ones are $50, I can't imagine these are going to be more money.
I actually don't know comparative pricing between
I
the
just-
steel and the and G10. Yeah.
I just want to point out this knife right now is getting the most attention of the fucking night.
Yeah, sure is.
Um,
We should have
um,
just reviewed this hypothetical knife that's not even released yet.
yeah.
So, yeah. But they're not charging an extra $50 for pivot collars because that's pretty much the price of the whole goddamn knife. So that would be unfair. It would for them to do that. So yeah.
I mean, it is a classic. I genuinely thought you were gonna announce a like expensive version of this knife, and I was like, oh, they made a Sabenza. Neat.
No, they just made a G10 version. Yeah. And CJ, if you haven't played with the stainless steel ones here in the shop, we do. Oh no, I think we're actually sold out
Yeah.
at the
We're
Calgary particular location. But yes, we've
We're
carried
almost
the
at-
801 for a while. It's right up there for Penguins as far as a budget option. That's just kind of a good banger. 1428 Zambic, yeah. So
If you're rough with your edges, I still maintain 14C is a better choice for most people, comparatively speaking to D2. These are fantastic choices.
So yeah, that's a little thing, a little something, something.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you for bringing that up, because that's neat as hell.
Indeed. What about your thing, Joe? Did you find your thing?
I did find my thing. It's
It's lost in the bush.
Well, it was waggling around at the back of my head. It was a little strange, the orientation. Don't ask.
Yeah.
You just had to waggle it in the right way. It's
yeah. Does it get there from the inside? Like,
don't worry about it.
It was cold. It was cold in the pool. Okay. It's
I was in the pool.
Yeah, there it is. Sorry, I'm just realizing that some of the information I might have to come back to this next stream. Some of the information that I saw last time I was looking at this has changed, and I think I need to do some fact checking.
Oh, I see. So Joe
I thought I had
doesn't
something.
know.
I thought I had something that was attributable to Benchmade. It may not be, but I thought it was. I could have sworn it was. So I will come back to this at a later time.
I see. I see. Yeah, okay, that's okay, I guess.
A lot of guys relating to being in the pool in the in chat right now.
We got some Seinfeld fans here.
Apparently,
That's
well, you know, just
that's a shame.
members of the of our chat that have male appendages.
And are old enough to get Seinfeld references, you know?
Well, there's that too, but I imagine they've also experienced it in real life. Is the joke that I was going with?
Yeah, that's all right.
I've seen better.
I've seen better.
I'm not convinced that TJ's old enough to have seen Seinfeld.
It's true. It's true.
New episodes as they aired.
So another thing that happened here just recently, and you guys know about it, but you forgot to talk about it this week. Cold Steel Mayhem got released.
Indeed, it sure did. It's all kinds of mayhem. See, I told you. I was right. He grew up on the reruns.
I've watched
Lilo and Stitch.
each episode of. Oh, there's a limited edition too. Isn't that nice?
Of course there is. Lynn Thompson signed it.
Why the hell are they showing the pocket clip side of the knife in their thumbnail?
There's nothing to see on the
Because
other
they don't
side,
know what
Joe.
the side of a knife is, Joe.
Yeah.
These guys aren't knife guys. They don't know.
You can get it in Oz 10, or you can get it in red and black with S35.
The Oz 10 is how much?
You saw that correctly, sir. $350 goddamn dollars.
And how much for the fancy?
$5?
Yeah, $5 American.
$499.99.
Yep.
But it's a limited edition, so get them while you can. Lynn Thompson's not just signing anything nowadays.
See, you're right. He's literally not signing anything because his signature doesn't appear anywhere on here. This isn't a Lynn Thompson signature anything. This is just a limited edition.
I know. I was just being a smart ass about Lynn Thompson
Sure.
just signing bullshit to make
But
a
for-
limited edition.
Honestly, that would have somewhat explained the price.
It's got a green handle. Come on.
Lynn Thompson personally killed a wild boar with one of these. Yeah, like, come on. Give
Each
us
one of these, Joe.
You're
one
like,
of these.
Hold on a fucking second.
With my 6-inch fully serrated Chris Tylite?
I'm sorry. Is the swedge of this thing sharpened? Making it not a swedge anymore?
I don't think so.
Look at
That's
that.
gotta be squared off. Look at it closed. There's no way.
Okay.
Unless it comes with a pouch.
That's quite a glint.
It is a glint.
Okay, yeah, this photo doesn't really show it the same way. Okay.
But you can't do it, man. You can't make that knife sharp on the backside.
No, and you shouldn't.
And you can't do that and not have Lynn Thompson sign it. Like, come on, at this point. If you're gonna sharpen that switch, he better put his name on that sumbitch.
Yeah.
CJLA called it a Schwarp now instead of a swedge. I hate it.
That's a Schwarpoon, all right?
Schwarpoon.
Oh.
You go to jail for something like that.
Oh,
Not
God.
in this province.
Single party.
Paul laughed so hard he disappeared.
Yeah, Paul, don't forget single party consent.
I forgot to continue to think that I exist there for a second, and I ceased.
Yeah.
And then I was back.
There is no spoon? Yeah.
Joe patented it.
The Schwarpoon?
Schwarpoon. I don't want my name attached to that. Don't put that evil on me.
The
The
JL
JL
Schwarb.
Now
What?
I'm sad.
It's like a JX6. JL Schwarb. Well, he'd been schwarping half his life, so
Oh, just warping here,
yeah.
warping there,
When he was a teenager, he couldn't control how much he was schwarping.
warping everywhere.
It's you know what kind of messes we had to clean up.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Paul's something of a Schwarper himself.
I was like, I was a teenager once.
I pride myself in being a master schwarper myself.
I'm accredited and everything. Yeah.
It's I see you have the badge.
I didn't go to
I had
two.
to send away so many cereal box tops.
I didn't go to 2 weeks of fucking clown college to not be called the Schwarper Supreme. Come on.
It was Schwarp College.
Nah, you heard Dick Richards earlier. It was clown college.
Touche. Touche. But yeah, that's a thing.
That's a lot of money for some craziness.
Oh, it's 10,350. I don't care how much it is. Like, how much is a Raja too? It's not any like it's
Raja 2 is well, what is it on the website? We could just look.
like $160 or some bullshit. It's nothing. Like it's come on, guys. Come on.
But the engage.
But it's got an engage lock.
Yeah, 185 American. Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. They engineered the Engage, I think specifically, so that they wouldn't have to use EDM equipment to cut it. The whole point was that they could do it just on regular milling machines, which was supposed to save them money. But it ends up being
not
just
not you money.
them money. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Come on, yeah.
So rather than be competitive, they price match, and then they keep going above. So yeah. All I have to say is I hope, for the sake of whoever buys one of these things, that they use a much stronger spring than they've been using on the Engages, because this Atlas lock has got like a very soft detent. Let's just say that.
It's intended to wave open.
And I realize that this
not
is
wave off of anything though.
Yeah. I've realized that this is a significantly bigger knife than like a Recon or a Talwar or whatever, but when you're looking at the price point on an S35 version of one of those nowadays, there's no way that this should be basically twice the price. It gets kind of ridiculous.
They're trying to market this like it's an XL Espada.
Yeah, but we're not there yet, guys. Come on.
It's not that big either. It's not
exactly. Yeah. But it's two-tone G10. So I mean, Best Tech does it for $60, but we're gonna do it for $5. It's
two-tone G10 with some crazy choils that show off the fact that it's two-tone G10. Those choils cost you money.
If you're gonna buy a $500 knife from Cold Steel, it should be a Trailmaster and nothing else.
It's or like that 4 Max Elite or some bullshit.
No, Trailmaster.
That's more than $4.
Yeah,
it's $5. Yeah,
that's what I said. Fine.
Yeah,
that's a fancy version for $5. It's fine. And this
I didn't go to 2 weeks of choil college to come up with this cloud of a knife.
In Canadian dollar reduce.
What's that?
What's 350 converted?
900.
Oh
no, it's not.
It's 470 Canadian pesos.
Okay, so yeah, that's a Trailmaster. Within like $10 of a Trailmaster in 3V.
I mean,
anyway, let's round this bullshit up. It's after 9.
Yeah, let's. I got dinner to make.
Dinner. Yeah. Okay.
So
I need to eat at some point today.
Yeah, that's a thing as well. There's a bunch of things that are things other than the review. So yeah. Speaking of, thank you to the Cutting Edge Cutlery Code for bringing in a couple unique QSP options. Let's just call them that for us to review because we appreciate it and they were pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Disappeared.
Thanks to people. Damn it.
Oh yeah, thank you, people on the internet, for following us on Instagram. For reasons that I will discuss at a later point. I have
Oh,
nothing.
I was gonna
Um,
say, I think we're gonna learn about a secret island here.
there you go.
It's my island.
Yeah,
It's boing.
it's Moy. But yeah, no, thanks to everyone that follows us on Instagram. There's been some more things posted over there than has been happening in the last year or so, but nothing recent. So go and like the old stuff, like us as superheroes, because it's funny. And
Laugh, damn it.
yeah, go and like it because Mr. Fisk put a lot of time and effort into those because he's a swell fella.
He didn't. He didn't put that much time.
I think he did. It's
Yeah,
more time than I would have
he
put.
would have trimmed my jaw better. It's
Some of us were happier. Some of us were happier with the results than others.
I'm pretty sure he just cut out your face and put your face on her face, so you get her jawline.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, I didn't hide it behind this beard for nothing. Come on. For him to just chop it off. Jesus Christ.
Feels a little
Yeah, I
personal.
guess he kept mine,
Yeah.
Yeah. Rub it
Yeah.
in. Rub it in.
but I mean, where do you cut it off for me? It's like mid torso.
Also, thank you to everyone who continues to subscribe to us on Patreon. Christmas 2023 is an actual thing. It'll happen. We promised.
We should really get that figured out.
We should probably promise. Yeah. So
Triggers are going to be pulled relatively soon, I think.
So anyway, yeah, thanks for that. Continue to support us. Yeah. Just going back to you guys as a thank you, really. So
Indeed. Thanks to use guys even.
anyone else? Anyone else we need to thank?
Nah.
Good times. Good times. All right. I think we're back again next week. That sounds like an accurate thing.
I think so.
Everyone's like, I don't know. All right. Having said that, we will see you all here again next week, same time, 7:15 Mountain Standard Time, every Sunday, ish. Ish. Time and place is ish. Okay. Jeez, man. Come on.
The place is usually the same. The time is questionable.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We will see you all again here next week. I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I'm Darren Joe.
I'm exile.ca.
And I'm trying not to yawn. Have a good night.
Why would you do that? Why, Joe? Why, though?
You got nothing. You got nothing from me. I'm dead inside.